family. I want to talk about something. Okay, there was something that really got me thinking, and I didn't know what to do, and I felt stuck. Yeah, something of that sort. So I couldn't even post my video on Monday just because of that. So what happened was, I was supposed to, I'm on attachment right now. So I was supposed to look for a place, or like not a place. I got 2 places for attachment, but now I had to make a decision on where I really wanted to go. Okay, so it was kind of a really tough decision to make, and I really felt very. So like, I wanted just to speak to someone who actually feels that way when making decisions, just like the way I was feeling. Okay, so what happened was, the first one was a plastic company, and the first one is a plastic company, and the second one was a paint company, of which my degree is polymer engineering and technology. And I actually didn't know what to do, which one to choose. I was stuck, guys. I was really stuck. I couldn't even concentrate on making a video for you on education, on maths. So I just told myself, no, one thing at a time, Litu Shiki. I'm going to do one thing at a time. When I'm done with making the decision on where I'm going to go, then I will make the video. Okay, so here's the video. Okay, so on making, what I know or what I've learned is, whenever you make a decision, you have to kind of stick with that decision that you'd have made, whether it's waiting for okay, let me give examples. Whether it's waiting for a car or a combi or anything at a bus station, or walking on foot, you have to decide and you have to stick with that decision. Most people, they just make decisions, right? And in the long run, when they grow tired of or being patient of the decision that they would have made, they like most of the people, they just like give up. But little did they know is, whenever they give up on the decision that they would have made, it would have reached almost its what can you say, its peak or its maximum limit. Okay, you can. Okay, so what would happen is, when you kind of give up on your dream or the decision that you'd have made, what I've noticed, like now, my whole life, my whole 20-something life I've lived, whenever you start something, you have to see it through, you have to see it to the end. Whenever you start thinking of giving up, know that you have almost reached your target, or your, like, the expectation that is required. And what happens is that whenever you give up, then what would happen is, whenever you give up on that dream or that decision that you made, then it happens. Okay, let me just give you an example. Let me say, like, when you have waited for hours at a bus terminus, waiting for a car to come so that you can go, and that car takes very long, a car or a combi takes very long. The moment you start walking, I don't know how this happens, but this is what really happens. The moment you start walking, going home on foot, that's the moment the car comes. I just don't know how that happens, but what I know is it actually happens. That those kind of things happen, guys. So what I've just learned is, whenever I have to make a decision, I have to stick by it, because I know that in the end there are results, whether it takes long or it takes a very short time. There are results that always come. Oh, please forgive the background sounds, because I'm walking home from work and there are cars passing by and different people. Okay, so where was I? So it's kind of whenever you make a decision, you have to stick by it. Even in life, even in having guys, what I've realized is you might make a decision. Yeah, I like this guy and you wanna stay, and the guy is a good guy, or maybe the guy is just poor or something related to that. The moment that you leave that guy, young lady, I do not want to lie to you, or the young boy, I do not. It's kind of you made the decision, you pushed things through, and just because you have now tired of something and you wanna give up, it's kind of when you give up, you are giving room for breakthrough. Okay, so before that breakthrough happens, be there, stick with the person, stick with the decision that you would have made, stick with anything that you have put up your mind to. Okay, so that was the first thing that I learned, that you have to stick with the decision that I've made, and that is what I learned in my past year. So I'm going to stick with my job, and you wanna learn. Okay, so even before you make the decision, you have to weigh the pros and the cons in all dimensions. Weigh the pros and the cons. For example, in my plastic company that I had found, and the paint company that I had found, I had to weigh the pros and the cons and see which one was more was more hopeful. And sometimes you can even seek guidance on the decision that you wanna make, but mostly you have to make the decision. Don't just make a decision based on the outward appearance of a something or a person or a job, no. Make the decision based on the pros, based on real and thorough research on something that would help you to make the right decision. And even ask other people on the decision that like people who are older than us. They can help you before you do most of the things. Just have to ask other people, like, what are your views when I give? It's kind of you are giving a question and receiving different opinions of different people on that decision that you'll be making, right? So whenever you get the opinions and see, do the opinions lie with do they lie with the decision that you want, or with the goal that you are facing, or the goal that you want. Okay, so for example, me, I would want to have a polymer company. Okay, so I had to research. Okay, so I want a polymer company. Now these two places that I've got, which place would most efficiently help me to achieve my goals? So I had to weigh the pros and the cons on which business or which workplace would be best for me to achieve the goals that I wanted to do. Okay, so I had to weigh the situations there and there. So I had to visit the places, and also do not just make a conclusion. This is something that I've learned, that you mustn't conclude on something that you don't even know of. Just because you heard other people saying, oh, this place is bad, and you know that. No, that doesn't give you the right to conclude about something. You have to know the thing first before you conclude it for it. Okay, don't just hear what other people, because it depends. There are good people and there are bad people. There are good people with good advice, and but it just depends on how the person sees the thing. It doesn't mean if there is a bad thing, everyone sees it as a bad thing. And some people can even see the bad thing, but also see a way out through that bad thing. Okay, so it particularly just depends on what you think and what you think is the right thing to do. Okay, guys. So that being said, so my first point was stick to the decision that you have made. And before making the decision, weigh the pros and the cons of that decision before making it, so that you can be so that you can be very sure of the decision that you are making. Okay, so and most of the times people tend to be like to have their decisions based upon other people. Like that person cannot make their own decisions. They just wait for another person to make a decision for them, and that's really a bad thing to do, because you're kind of codepending your life to somebody else. So, and in the case that you have to make a decision, those type of people, you find them making the worst ever decision that even someone who in their right sense would say, but how did this person, but how? It's just the fact that that person didn't have an opportunity or to make their own decisions. Okay, so I'm not saying that getting other people's views on a certain topic is bad. No, it's okay, and it's the it's the best way to do things, because people know. But after doing your analysis on, like, doing your surveys on what people think about something, you have to make a conclusion yourself that is also aligned. Remember, that decision has to be aligned with your goals, guys. And also, you don't know how it feels when you make the decision and it comes out very well. You have to believe on something. Sometimes you just have to be a radical, okay? Like, just believe, yes, it will happen. It doesn't matter what other people will say, but if I believe it will happen, then it will happen. That's how it is, and that's how it's gonna be. Okay? So you just have to to trust your decision, to trust your guts, but also do not be so very much ignorant. Okay? There's a difference between what can I say? Having to make up your mind and stick to it, and ignorance. There is actually a very big difference between the two. So you have to make the right decision, guys. Okay, so I was saying that if you make your own decisions, whether they turn out good or they turn out bad, you have to, what can I say, to be active, like to, what can I really say? What's the word? You cannot resign. Okay, sometimes we are afraid of making decisions just because we are afraid of the results, and we tend to ask other people of their opinions just because we just want to blame them afterwards and not blame ourselves, and that would make us, that's really terrible. So you just have to make your decision, whether it will results in good or results in bad. Whether it results in good or results in bad, you just have to kind of work on the good and also work on the bad. It's not like you're always required to make the right decision. No, you can do both. You can have like both the good and also the bad, but you can also make the decision, like, what can I say, what's the best way? Yes, you have to work on the good, but it doesn't mean that if you produce bad results, then that's the end of you. No, there's this saying that if you haven't made a mistake, you haven't tried anything, and that's really true. You cannot, for everyone to start something, you have to make a mistake. Yeah, some people, they just do it right, but that percentage, my friend, can even be 1%. Some people just have to do it and make decisions until they are even confident of themselves that I said this, so it will be like. Most of the times it's experience that makes people confident of their decisions. The many falls they took, the many goods they take, not just abandoning your decision just because it went the way that you didn't want. Okay, so whether the decision you make turns out to be correct or bad, own up to it. Don't just abandon your decision just because it turned out to be bad. Okay, so I was saying you have to be able to make your own decision so that you do not be codependent on other people, because that is just one worst thing to do. Just to have it's kind of most of the times that you ask someone or codepend on someone to make a decision for you, you kind of lose yourself. Yeah, you practically lose yourself, because you cannot even make your own decisions. You can't even stick by your own decisions, so you lose yourself, of which we actually have to be ourselves and learn through it. Also, I feel good. It's very okay for us to make those decisions. If you weigh the pros and the cons and you see that the decision is just too much for me or something, then you hear other people's views, other people's opinions, but later you have to make your own decisions, even based on what you have seen and also based on your goals in life.